There lived a boy in a city whose name was Ethan. He did not speak much, nor did he talk much about his life to anyone. People considered him an ordinary man, but no one had any idea that a great power was hidden behind his silence. He was not one of those people who tell everyone about their plans. He was one of those people who move quietly, and by the time someone understands, it is too late. Ethan's childhood was spent in poverty. He understood at an early age that only those people move ahead in the world who keep their strength hidden until the right time comes. When people reveal their intentions, they make themselves weak. Ethan had always learned that the person who works silently is the real powerful person. There was a business tycoon named Victor Harrington in the city. He had immense wealth, power, and the skill to make people dance to his tunes. He had ruined many small businessmen and considered himself the most powerful man in the city. He thought that no one could stand against him, but he did not know that a quiet boy named Ethan was going to be the cause of his ruin. Victor's biggest strength was that he would identify his enemies beforehand and eliminate them. But his strategy was successful only till the enemy showed himself openly. Ethan never challenged Victor in front of him. He never even let him realize what was going on in his mind. He silently observed everything, understood and prepared his plan. He knew that Victor's biggest weakness was his pride. He was so self-confident that he thought that no one could defeat him. But the biggest defeat starts from where a person feels that he can never lose. Ethan slowly started to turn Victor's most trusted people to his side, but he did this work also with complete silence. He did not contact anyone directly, but created such circumstances that people started coming to him on their own. He did not make big promises to anyone, but he showed everyone what they wanted to see. Some were lured with money, some with high positions, and some were shown the path to fulfill their own ambitions. Victor had no idea that his own people were slowly betraying him. He still thought that his world was completely safe, but in reality its foundations were slowly shaking, and he himself was unaware of this. Ethan had made friends with Victor's most important business partners. He cleverly assured Victor's investors that their money would be safer with Ethan. He did not tell anyone directly that Victor was getting weak, but he let people judge the situation themselves. He just proved through his work that Victor was no longer as powerful as before. Ethan never hurried in this entire process. He did everything so slowly that Victor did not suspect anything. He still thought he was invincible, but in reality he was getting weaker every day. Victor's most trusted lawyers and advisors were now also doing Ethan's bidding, but Victor did not even have a clue about this, because he never made the mistake of believing that someone could defeat him like this. Then came the night when Ethan made his final move. Without anyone knowing, without letting anyone suspect, he took over Victor's entire business. The documents were already ready, all the legal procedures were completed, and by the time Victor understood what had happened to him, everything was under Ethan's control. When Victor realized that he had lost everything, he screamed like a madman. He called his lawyers, asked for help from his old friends, but no one was ready to help him. Ethan had already made sure that Victor had no way out. Victor came in front of Ethan in anger and shouted, "How did you do all this?" "You were just an ordinary man." Ethan replied in a calm voice, "Your biggest mistake was that you took me for granted. People who stay quiet play the biggest games." Victor looked at Ethan in anger, but he couldn't do anything now. He had no way left. Everything was out of his hands, and he did not even understand how all this happened. Ethan did not celebrate or make any announcement. He just looked at the city lights from his office window and sat on his chair with a light smile. He had achieved the biggest victory of his life, but he did not show off. He had proved to the world that the real strength is not in making noise, but in moving forward silently. The more people show off their intentions, the weaker they become. and those who keep their plans to themselves are the ones playing the biggest game. Ethan knew his story could inspire someone, but he wouldn't share it with anyone. Because those who move forward in silence don't tell their own stories. The world tells theirs.